So we got to see some Devonta Smith in an NFL uniform, and he was electric. He was awesome. It was very fun to watch. The stat line isn't anything crazy, but again, stat lines in the preseason, not really something you have to pay close attention to. It's the tape that matters, and his tape, he showed some really good cuts. That's what I thought. That's the main takeaway I had. Some really exciting stuff if you're an Eagles fan who, they could really use some receiving help right now. That's why they drafted Smith, and, so far it's looking pretty good. So let's talk about, how he played in week one. I said week one, obviously, I mean his first game. Anyways, we'll start off with this play. So it's going to be an interesting play, and we're going to kind of go chronologically here. So this play, it's a go route against man coverage. So it's a cover one man play. He's running a deep route, and watch what happens. So first, this first step of how there's no contact at the line, and this is the kind of thing with Smith where once he can get you turned around, he's just going to have a much better time, basically. And this is true of every receiver, obviously. It's not just Devonta Smith. But what Smith does so well is his first step. He has a tremendous first step, and he's kind of showing it off right here, where at this point, you can't create contact. So as much as people like to bring up his weight, well, guess what? As of right now, he could be 100 pounds. It doesn't matter because you can't create contact from this point. Maybe a little bit, but not too much. And so look how when this play continues, you're now going to see how so the defensive back doesn't know when the ball is coming. It's just more difficult for him to look back and see the ball than it is for someone like Smith because of the angle, which is why you want to get the cornerback facing away if you possibly can. All of this very well done. Good job by Smith. He's definitely won this matchup. I do have a criticism, I would say, and it's that how this play is going to end. Like, look, I mean, he's not able to make that grab. It's kind of a tough play, a back shoulder throw, but you would like to see your, first overall pick, or your first pick, the top 10 pick overall. You'd like to see him come down to that, but again, it's a nitpick. If you're getting open, I'm not really concerned about that because I feel like drops as a whole tend to be pretty fluky, and they don't always carry over year to year. They do a little bit, but not as much, a couple of drops can be very misleading in terms of how good your hands actually are. Like, for example, something like this, it's man coverage. He's running just a little route underneath. It's nothing too fancy. This is basically just a check down route for the most part. You would hope it can get open, but if it doesn't, it's not exactly the best route. Smith is not going to be the first read on this play. And look, so underneath, he gets open. It's not wide open, but it would be hard for him to get wide open on a play like this. You almost just hope on this route, there was a blown coverage or something, because it's a 3rd down and 10. So, anyways, the ball's going to go in his direction, and watch what happens. He is open, but he just drops the ball. So again, this stuff did happen. There were a couple of drops. I'm not worried. I'd be way more worried if he's not getting open. He's getting open. He's just dropping the ball. To me, that is something that tends to clear up. Again, I know the Eagles, they went through this with Aguilar, right? So they don't want another guy with drop issues, but it's one game. I wouldn't overreact to a couple of drops. And also, sorry, I'm not sure if the microphone picked it up. My dog was barking in the background for a second, so if that picked it up, apologize. But anyways, plowing ahead here. Something like this is very exciting for an Eagles fan. So it's going to be zone coverage. You see the route that Smith is going to run. It's going to get underneath, and watch what happens. It's not the most difficult route to run against this coverage, but watch what happens. First, you are going to see, again, at the line, a very good cut and then a cut back in. That's really good stuff. That mobility, I mean, again, I don't want to put too much pressure on the kid. It looks like Antonio Brown-like, the way he's able to move like that. I'm not saying he'll become Antonio Brown, but, he's so light on his feet, which is truly remarkable. So this already, very good. Again, how much of a deal is it being able to get open in this route on this coverage? Not crazy, but it's more about how he did it and also what he's going to do after the fact. Watch him make a move over, and he's going to even pick up some more yards. So again, very good cuts is what I've seen from Smith. That's really what my biggest takeaway through the preseason. And in fact, the next play will be probably the best example of that. So it's this play. If you've followed, football people on Twitter, you probably have seen this play. It's the play where Smith fakes as though he's running over the middle, then it's going to go to the outside. And this is the kind of thing, again, this is what gets you excited if you're an Eagles fan. Watch what's going to happen. So Patriots defensive back Michael Jackson creates some contact at the line, but doesn't really do too much. Smith moved to the outside well enough and used his hands well enough to get past that. So again, for someone like Devonta Smith, who kind of one of the big criticisms of him, which, even me, who didn't have Smith as high in my rankings as some other people did, I didn't think I thought that was completely overblown because of stuff like this, the way he is able to use his hands well. He gets off the line well. To me, the weight is not a problem for Smith, and you saw that right there. With, again, it's Michael Jackson for New England. It's not like you're going up against an elite press corner or anything, but still, he's able to fight through it. He gets this inside leverage a little bit to the point where you would think that he's already open right now. This means that Jackson has to really get into high gear to try and keep up with Smith, and that's where Smith can really do his damage. As you see, Smith cuts, just a tremendous play from him. Every step of that play, he was fantastic at. Again, will he be able to do that against Stephon Gilmore? I don't know, but still, it was a great play. That's all we know, and I think that's cool. So good for him for making a great play. And one more play. This isn't even going to be a target, but it's a great route he ran. So it's a go route, and again, it's that first step. That's the main thing that I've been so impressed with Smith in this preseason game. It's man coverage. You see what's going to happen. You see the concept, one-on-one matchup. Watch what happens on this first step. Look just how agile he is in getting over, and basically right away, the defensive back, you can't create contact right here. Unless you're going to hold him, you can't create contact, and now it just becomes a foot race, which is what Smith wants. Again, there's been a lot of speculation about how fast is Smith really. He didn't run a 40-yard dash, so we don't know. But still, you get to this point, and as we saw from that play earlier, good things are going to happen, and he seems to be pretty fast. So, really good stuff by Smith, I thought. So yeah, that's what I thought of Smith's performance. If we're talking about has he moved the needle for me, do I feel better about him now than I did, right after he got drafted? Personally, yes, I do. Because again, I've talked a lot about how wide receivers are notoriously the most difficult position to draft. It has the lowest hit rate in the first round and has a pretty high hit rate in rounds 2 and 3. It's really, you can sort of figure out who the guys are that you should be drafting, but figuring out the order, teams have really struggled with, and I have really struggled with. So seeing someone in a preseason who is, now we can see them going up against better talent, it gives us a better idea of how they could play in the NFL. I think the best way to see it will be to see them actually play in the NFL, but it's just, to me, wide receivers, definitely a position I'm looking more towards than some other positions, just because I want to see how you do against NFL talent. In college, let's be honest, most of these guys that are, drafted in the first 3 rounds, they can just blow by every single corner. So it's just, if you have speed, there you go, you're going to get open all the time. So turning it into, being a complete receiver in the NFL, Smith looks to be well on his way into doing that. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.